अचतुर्वदनो ब्रह्मा द्विबाहुरपरो हरिः अबाललोचनः शम्भुर्भगवान् बादरायणः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् इतिहासप्रदीपेन मोहावरणघातना लोकगर्भगृहं कृत्स्नं यथा वत्सं प्रकाशितं निःश्रेण्यो ब्रह्मलोकस्य वाक्तेभ्यः कर्णकुण्डले दर्भद्रुममहामूले वाल्मीकिर्व्यासयोः कृति.
Thank you, Adya. Let's begin today's session. Yesterday, we had finished looking at the Virata Parva, and then we had started with the Udyoga Parva. Now, who can tell me why is Udyoga Parva called the Udyoga Parva? I had mentioned that yesterday. Yes, Arindam. Yes, Dhatri. Okay. Anyone
It's the pre-war preparation period for the revenge on Kauravas. Sir, it's the war preparation purpose.
Yeah, Udyoga means any kind of activity or job. So Udyoga Parva is the place where the Pandavas have finished their Vanavasa and Ajnatavasa, and they are staying in a certain city. What was the name of the city which I mentioned yesterday? That they were staying in, where Abhimanyu's wedding happened with Uttara Kumari, with Uttara. So what was the name of the place? Yes, Manjesh, is that your name? Yes, any one of you, please, quickly.
Sir, could I say?
Yeah, sure.
Upaplavya.
Yes, okay. Excellent. Yeah. So then there were lots of discussions about what should be their next step. And I had mentioned that there are 4 upayas in any kind of relationship between two kingdoms. Upaya Chatushtaya I had mentioned, and one of the Akkas or Annas, Hamsa Akka, I think she had sent it on the group as well. So what were the 4 upayas?
Sir,
Okay, others, if you tell, you should tell it correctly, all the 4 in the right order with meaning.
Sama, Dana, Veda, Danda.
Excellent. So, the Pandavas were contemplating, how can we gain back our kingdom? We have lost it, but we have completed the pledge. We had taken an oath that we'll stay for 12 years in the forest and 1 year in Ajnatavasa. That was also the challenge. That was also the pledge that the Kauravas also had done. But we lost the game and we have finished whatever we had to do. So therefore, let us see how we can get back the kingdom. So that was their idea. So who do they send first as a messenger to Dhritarashtra's court? Who goes as the first messenger taking their message? Yeah, Ishita, Mahati, Akash, any one of you?
Drupadas Purohita.
Excellent. What does the word Purohita mean? I had mentioned this also previously.
Sir, a person who gives advice to the king about all spiritual stuff.
Yeah,
and
fantastic. So a Purohita is not merely the person who does the puja in a temple. That's not the Purohita. That he is also called a Purohita. He's also called an Archaka. But a Purohita is in reality a person who is Purasthitaha, who is at the lead of a kingdom. He leads the kingdom in every activity, in every decision that the king makes or the people make. So it has to be under the consultation of the Purohita. Purasthitaha. And a person who always cares about the hita of the Pura. Hita means the well-being. Pura means the kingdom or the city. So Purohita is a person who is always concerned about the overall well-being of the entire kingdom. Okay. So the Drupadas Purohita goes to Dhritarashtra's kingdom, that is Hastinapura, to the capital city of Dhritarashtra. There he meets Dhritarashtra and tells him that we are looking forward to a peaceful treaty, a treaty of peace. So Sama Marga is explored. In the meantime, we had seen that Krishna goes back to Dwarka. Who are the 2 people who come there and what do they ask for? When Krishna is sleeping in Dwarka, what happens? So who comes first? Yes, Ahiri, Arush, Dhatri. Yeah, any one of you.
Duryodhana comes and sits at the head of Krishna, and then
Exactly.
Arjuna comes and sits at the feet of Krishna. But Krishna
Exactly.
attends to Arjuna first.
Yeah. Why does he attend to Arjuna first? And
Because
yes, somebody
Arjuna
else. Yes, Nandu, Omkar, one of you want to tell? Ishita or Pavani, any one of you?
Because Arjuna was
Because he was
sitting
the
at the
youngest.
feet of Krishna and Krishna could see him first.
Because as soon as Krishna woke up,
He was
Arjuna was the one
younger.
that Krishna saw.
Okay, fantastic. So Arjuna chooses Krishna, even though Krishna had pledged that he won't hold weapons in the warfare. Arjuna chooses Krishna because with Krishna's guidance, with Paramatma himself on his side, Arjuna was confident that he could achieve anything. But Duryodhana, like we had discussed yesterday, he's after numbers. He wants the greatest quantity of warriors, the greatest number of warriors on his side. See, like I had mentioned yesterday, even for the older people, it is a competition between quality and quantity. The Pandavas are 5 in number, but the Kauravas are 100 in number. The Pandavas have got only Krishna on their side, but the Kauravas have got many Akshohinis of army. So anyway, now Krishna makes that promise, and in the meantime, Shalya was on his way to the Pandava camp to support them. See, somebody had asked me this question previously. Who does Shalya support? Who was Shalya, by the way? Whose elder brother was he? And how was he related to the Pandavas? Yes, Mahati.
He was
Didi?
Madri's elder brother.
Matri's brother.
Yeah, Madri's elder brother, king of what country? What
Madra.
kingdom?
Madra
Madra Desha. So therefore, how is he
Madra Desha.
related to the Pandavas?
He was their
It was
uncle.
Nakula and Sahadeva's uncle.
Yeah, he was Nakula and Sahadeva's uncle. In general, he was like the uncle of all the Pandavas. Very sharp, very nice answer. Okay, so Shalya was on his way to the Pandava camp. The Pandavas were in Upaplavya. While Shalya was on his way, Duryodhana wanted to entice Shalya. He wanted to attract Shalya. Shalya was coming with his huge army and with his 2 sons to support the Pandavas. But on the path on which Shalya traveled, Duryodhana had created very luxurious rest houses, very nice and tasty restaurants Duryodhana had created. And Shalya ate and had the hospitality in all these places. And he was wondering who has created such lavish arrangements. See, Pandavas, of course, do not have any strength, they do not have any wealth, etc. So now who must have created all this? So Shalya was wondering. And Duryodhana dramatically appears from behind the screens and he says that it is me. I have created all these luxuries for you. So what is he trying to indicate? I, Duryodhana, care so much for you, Shalya. What have the Pandavas done for you? They have done nothing. You are so fond of them, you are going to support them thinking that they are your nephews. But look at me, I am so powerful. I can give you all the comforts. I can give you all the luxuries that you want. Okay, this changes the mind of Shalya and Shalya decides to support Duryodhana. Is that a good idea, Nidhi? What do you think? Just because somebody has temporarily given you some tasty food, is it a good idea to change? So you want to fight against your own nephews. Your nephews have been cheated by the Kauravas, right? So just by these temporary attractions, Shalya changes his mind momentarily. But however, he goes further without Duryodhana's knowledge. Shalya goes further to Upaplavya and he meets the Pandavas. When he meets the Pandavas request him, they tell him the kind of ill treatment or the kind of adharma that they have undergone. And the Bhima, Yudhishthira, all of them request Shalya, saying that at some point in time, you should become the Sarathi or the charioteer of Karna. When you become the charioteer of Karna, try to insult him, try to humiliate him. Okay, then that will bring down Karna's confidence and Arjuna can win in the battle. So Shalya agrees with that also. See, this was a very strategic thing that the Pandavas did. Also a very strategic thing that Shalya did. Right? So he pretended to be on the side of the Kauravas. But who was he heart of heart supporting? He was supporting the Pandavas, right? So he agrees that at some point in time, he'll become the charioteer of Karna. And when he becomes the Sarathi or the charioteer of Karna, he will insult him. He will humiliate him. He'll bring down Karna's confidence. So that when Karna fights Arjuna, Karna won't be able to win the battle with Arjuna. Okay, all of you followed so far? So Shalya joins the side of Kauravas. Now, from the side of Dhritarashtra sends Sanjaya for a peace treaty with the Pandavas. So who is Sanjaya, by the way? How many of you know who Sanjaya is? Yes, Ritvik.
Like mantri of Dhritarashtra.
Yeah, he was like the personal advisor. He was the charioteer, etc. What else was he? Yes, Dhatri and Ahiri.
He told Dhritarashtra what happened in like Mahabharata.
Exactly. Yeah, very true. Yes, Ahiri.
He told he had Divya Drishti, and then he narrated Dhritarashtra what all happened in the Kurukshetra.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so Sanjaya was like the personal assistant. He was the advisor. He was the charioteer of. He was the Sarathi of Dhritarashtra. So Dhritarashtra sends Sanjaya to the Pandava camp, saying that let there be a peace treaty. So Sanjaya comes there, and Yudhishthira, Bhima, all of them agree that let there be peace. Sanjaya goes back, but in the meantime, Duryodhana was very annoyed. He starts arguing with his father. Oh, father, you're brainless. See, what did you do in the past? All of you remember when they played the first game of dice. What happened when they played the first game of dice? Draupadi was harassed. But then Dhritarashtra offered 2 boons to Draupadi. All of you remember that? The Pandavas had lost everything. They had lost their chariots, they had lost their horses, they had lost their kingdom, they had lost. Yudhishthira had lost his brothers, Yudhishthira had lost himself, Yudhishthira had lost Draupadi also. So, under that circumstances, Dhritarashtra had given 2 boons to Draupadi. Ask whatever you want. So, all the kingdom and all of these people had gotten freedom, right? Back then, Duryodhana had scolded his father. See, with so much of hard work, I won over whatever belonged to the Pandavas, and now we are giving it back. So Duryodhana was very irritated. See, first of all, tell me, did Duryodhana do any kind of hard work to get Pandavas' kingdom? Absolutely not, right? Through adharmik means he had got it. And he scolded his father for being nice to his nephews. See, Dhritarashtra's nephews are the Pandavas. Then again, he calls for the second Yuddha, the second game of dice, and the Pandavas again foolishly lose everything. So now, in this circumstance, Duryodhana is very angry with his father. He says, I, with so much of hard work, have gained back the kingdom. How are you agreeing with a peace treaty? So he says there can't be any peace treaty at all. Then finally, Krishna comes back to Pandavas and he says that, I will go and have a conversation with Duryodhana. Let us see. But before Krishna leaves, Yudhishthira and Bhima, both of them tell Krishna, let there be a treaty of peace. We don't want to fight the war. Okay? Listening to all this, Draupadi was very pained. Yudhishthira also says that, okay, it's okay even if Duryodhana does not give half the kingdom. Let him give 5 villages. Vrukasthala, Kushasthala, Varanavata, and 2 more villages. Let him give just 5 more villages. We'll be happy with that. If he does not give 5 villages, let him give at least 1 village. We'll be happy with that. So you please convey this message to the Pandavas, Krishna. Yudhishthira says. Bhima also says, let there not be a war. Let there be peace. Let there not be bloodshed, etc. Krishna gets very irritated. So you're ready to compromise so much and you forget all the adharma that has happened to you, the kind of treachery, the kind of torture that all of you have undergone for 12 years in the forest and 1 year in Ajñatavasa, and your own wife has suffered that way, but still you're okay with a peace treaty. Then Arjuna again speaks to Krishna. Arjuna tells Krishna that let there be peace, let there not be a war, etc. So listening to all this, just imagine how Draupadi must have felt. Draupadi shows her long hair to Krishna. All of you might remember on the day that Draupadi was brought to the court of Duryodhana, she had not tied her hair. Jade hakondrilla. Her hair was unbraided. She shows that long hair to Krishna and says, please remember this. See, that was a sign. Until, see, some of the versions of Mahabharata say, until the intestines, until the liver, the stomach bled from the insides of Dushasana, until it is near to my hair, I won't tie my hair. That was Draupadi's Shapata. That was the oath. That was the vow. That Draupadi had taken. It was Draupadi Shapatha. It is known very famously in many versions of Mahabharata. But the original Mahabharata does not say this. But nevertheless, the original does say that Draupadi shows her long hair to Krishna. She shows that long hair to Bhima and Arjuna and says, don't you remember the injustice that has happened to me because of your own cousins? Don't you want to teach them a lesson? Why are you all being such great cowards? Draupadi says this, and in certain versions of the Mahabharata, it is also said, Draupadi becomes so annoyed with Bhima and Arjuna and says, Bhima, like a woman, you go and cook in the kitchen. Or in the sense, not like a woman, or like a very cowardly person, go and cook in the kitchen. She throws her bangle at Arjuna and says, you go and become a dance teacher. Both Bhima and Arjuna, you are all useless. All the 5 husbands, you're useless. Natavati Anatha. I've got 5 husbands, but I'm as good as being an orphan, Draupadi says. And she says to Krishna, okay, let these husbands not fight the war. They are not going to bring me justice. But I have my older brother, Drishtadyumna. I have my 5 Upapandavas, my 5 sons, Upapandavas. And Abhimanyu is also there. They will listen to me. They will get me justice. And I am also trained in warfare. I will go and fight the war, Draupadi says. Okay, but then Krishna makes a promise to Draupadi saying that don't worry. I know that Duryodhana is not going to agree for a treaty of peace. I know that there is going to be a war, but nevertheless, I'm going to make this attempt of a peace treaty. Now, Rashmi, even when Krishna knows that peace treaty is not going to work, why is he making these attempts?
Sir, maybe that 0.0001 chance.
Excellent. Yeah. So, what else? What else do you think?
I mean, after the war happens, he won't have any regret that he is not tried only.
Beautiful. Fantastic. Yeah. So, like Rashmi said, Krishna felt that even if there is 0.0001% probability that somehow Duryodhana will change his mind, then let us make that last attempt. Like Rashmi also said, after the war, Krishna should not repent later on. Maybe if I had spoken to the Kauravas once, maybe they would have changed their mind. Maybe Dhritarashtra and Gandhari would have intervened and changed the minds of the Kauravas. Let me make my attempt. See, our attempts may fail, but we must not fail in our attempts. All of you know this proverb. Just listen to this again. Hear this again. Our attempts may fail, but we must never fail in our attempts. ನಾವು ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಟ್ಟರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗದೆ ಇರಬಹುದು. ಆದ್ರೆ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನೇ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡಬಾರದು ಅಂತ. We must never fail in trying to do whatever is within our limits. And Krishna also thinks, see, later on in the future, some people must not speak. There was a very powerful person, a very matured person called Bhagavan Shri Krishna. If he had made a single attempt, then there wouldn't have been so much of war and so much of bloodshed would have gotten avoided. So people should not speak that way. So let me try my best. So Krishna thinks. So he tells this to Draupadi as well. I know hearts of hearts, Draupadi, that there will be a war. All these evil people will be killed. See, look at this. Duryodhana, Dushasana, Karna, Shakuni, all of them, they have not changed since their birth. They must be about 50 years of age now. Will they overnight suddenly change their behavior and become very nice people? Of course not. Aira and Ishan, you're opening your eyes so wide open. Yeah. So do you think the Kauravas are going to change? What do you think, Ishan? Yeah, they're not going to change, right? See, so nicely you have understood the heart of the Kauravas. But Bhima and Arjuna only had not understood. They are saying, let there be a peace treaty. But Ishan has understood that the Kauravas are very wicked. So they have to be defeated and killed. Have you understood that, Ishan? Your sister has also understood.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. See, this is something which is so obvious. The Pandavas, Bhima and Arjuna were not able to realize that. Why do you think, Hamsa? All of us are able to see this. But the main Pandavas are not able to see that. Why?
That was
What?
Sir, now,
Yeah.
usually when one of us are in that situation, even such a big thing might pass our mind. A lot of times, the most obvious things may be not so obvious to us when we are in that circumstance. And plus, because of all the distractions, and that too, even though Bhima previously itself had told that he was yelling at Yudhishthira and all in the gambling scene, despite all that, in this particular instance they might have forgot about it, or they might have been too indulged in it
Yeah, that's
to
also one thing. And see, another point is 12 years. It's been 12 years or 13 years since the incident. Time would have healed wounds, usually, for the older people here. When you're separated by time, after a lot of time has elapsed, your hatred and animosity towards certain people that would have gotten cooled down. Right? See, this is also one of the intentions behind for the Kauravas sending away the Pandavas for 12 plus 1 years to exile. And also probably Bhima and Arjuna, Yudhishthira, all of them felt, after all, they are our cousins. So why should we fight with our cousins? Because we have seen Yudhishthira's attitude from the beginning. All of you remember the instance when the Gandharva started beating up the Duryodhana and Dushasana. What had Yudhishthira told in that instance? How many of you remember exactly? Just raise your hand. What had Yudhishthira told back then? Yes, Sanskrita. Yeah. What did he say?
He told that to go and save the Kauravas to Arjuna.
You're not audible. You're too low. Can you tell quickly, louder?
Yudhishthira told Arjuna and Bhima to save the Kauravas from the Gandharvas.
Yeah, that's right. But what is the justification that he gave?
They are cousins.
Yeah, he said to the external world, we must look like 105 united brothers. But internally, we might be 100 plus 5. We might be divided. But for the external world, we must appear very united. So it's the respect of our family. We must not appear that we are fighting within the family, etc. All those things might have bothered Yudhishthira. But anyway, Krishna tells Draupadi that I'll ensure that there is justice, there is dharma on your side, and your long hair and the humiliation that you underwent, that will be avenged for. Okay. He also fills his chariot with weapons when he goes to Yudhishthira, to Duryodhana's kingdom. Just look at this. Krishna travels with weapons because it is very difficult to predict how Duryodhana is going to behave. He might send some people to attack Krishna on the way because Krishna is one of the greatest allies for the Pandavas. So he had his protection at hand and he goes there. Duryodhana had made lots of lavish arrangements on the path between Upaplavya and Hastinapura to welcome Krishna. But Krishna ignores all that and directly goes to Vidura's poor house. Vidura was was not as rich as Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra, Dushasana, etc. So there was a poorer house of Vidura. So Krishna goes there and stays. Now Duryodhana is very insulted. I am in the position of the king and I have made so many arrangements. I have offered luxurious and delightful and delicious food for Krishna. Why is he not coming here? Next day, when Krishna meets Duryodhana, etc., Duryodhana asks this very question. So then, look at the answer that Krishna gives. Preeti bhojyani annani apat bhojyani vapunaha. Please send this later on in the group. A very important statement made by Krishna. Preeti bhojyani annani apat bhojyani vapunaha. Where should we have our food? See, there might be many people who are welcoming us to their houses. But just think of this. Is Duryodhana welcoming Krishna with love? Is he welcoming him with love? What could be the intention of Duryodhana? Okay, all of you have understood Duryodhana's heart very well. Okay. So what could be the intention of Duryodhana when he is welcoming? Any guesses?
So that he could lure Krishna to be on his side.
Yeah, yes,
Excellent. Yeah. To lure Krishna to be on his side. Okay. What, Mahati?
Actually, he was he was very selfish. So that's why like he wanted Krishna to be on his side and he wanted the Pandavas to lose. That's why.
Excellent. Yeah. So the selfishness, Svartha of Duryodhana is very well known. So now look at the difference between Shalya and Krishna. See, Shalya pretended to get attracted with all the restaurants, luxury houses, and camps, everything that Duryodhana had made, and he said that he will fight on the side of the Kauravas. But behind the scenes, he had gone to the Pandavas and made a promise that he'll ensure that Karna loses with Arjuna. Okay, but here Krishna does not even get enticed. He does not get lured by whatever are the offers made by Duryodhana. That is when he boldly declares this: Sampriti bhujyani annani apat bhujyani vapunaha. We must go and eat in a place where we are offered food with love. Not just because we'll get a lot of sthana, mana, not just because we'll be paid a lot or we'll get a respectful seat, etc. That should not be the motivation. Only where there is love, only when a person invites us with love, there we must go and eat. Or apat bhojyani. Apat means in a case of emergency. If there is an emergency, we might have to eat in any person's house, in any kind of place. Right? So between Vidura and Duryodhana, Vidura had true love. He had true respect for Krishna. That is why Krishna goes and stays in Vidura's house. And also because his aunt Kunti was also there, right, at Vidura's house. Kunti was staying in Vidura's house. All of you remember that for 13 years. Yeah. So his aunt was also there. So Krishna speaks with his aunt also. Next day in the morning, he goes to the court. That is where he tells Duryodhana that this is why I did not come to your house. And he tries to have a peace talk with Duryodhana. None of that work. And Duryodhana says, I won't give any part of my kingdom. I have been dharmic and the entire kingdom belongs to me. So I won't give the kingdom at all. And then Krishna decides that there must be a war. Okay. So now Sama Marga has failed. Peaceful treaty has failed. Dana Marga or some kind of compromise. Let us see if there can be peace with some kind of compromise. Okay, the Pandavas are ready to compromise. Give 5 villages. Kushasthala, Vrukashthala, Varanavata, and 2 more. Give 5 villages. Duryodhana says, I can't give 5 villages. Give the Pandavas 1 village so that they can do agriculture and take care of the people there. But Duryodhana says, I won't give 1 village also. I won't give the space occupied even by the tip of a needle. Even that, all of you know the tip of a needle, how minute the space is. Even that much of space from my kingdom, I'm not ready to give the Pandavas. See, this is the kind of hatred that Duryodhana has developed with respect to the Pandavas. Now, Pavani, have the Pandavas ever done any harm to the Kauravas?
No, sir.
But still, shouldn't the brothers, the cousins, 105 of them, be harmonious with respect to each other?
Yes.
There is no mistake of the Pandavas. The Pandavas have not harmed the Kauravas any time. They have tried to be very beneficial, very nice to the Kauravas. But then the Kauravas are just jealous. So we'll just recall this shloka. Let us see how many of you have learnt it. Duryodhano Manyumayo Mahadrumaha. How many of you have learnt it? Who wants to recite? Yes, Akash? Huh. Okay, so many of you have learned. Very good.
Manyo Mayo Mahadruma Skanda Karna Shakunistasya Shaka Dushasana Pushpapale Samruddhe Moolam Rajo Dhritarashtra Manishi.
Excellent. Yeah. Yudhishthiro Dharmamayo Mahadruma. How many of you have learned? Yes, Ahiri, what do you want to tell?
Yes.
Oh,
Yudhishthira.
Yelru Kettudun Matra Kaltidiri, Valledun Kaltilla. Whatever is the dharmic tree, you have not learned that. Okay. Yes, Ahiri.
Yudhishthiro Dharmamayo Mahatrumaha Skandhorjuno Bhimaseno Shakhaha Madri Sutau Pushpaphale Samriddhe Moolam Krishno Brahmacha Brahmanascha.
All of you remember this? The root of the tree filled with jealousy called Duryodhana. At the root is Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra is blinded by love for his children. At the root of the dharmic tree called Yudhishthira is Bhagavan Shri Krishna. who is the Paramatma himself, and there is Brahma and the Brahmanas. All of them are at the root, the spiritual essence that is there in the tree of Yudhishthira. But in the Duryodhana tree, it is fully filled with jealousy. Krishna also tells there in the quote, "You Kauravas, you are like the forest. The Pandavas are like the tigers. The tigers protect the forest, and the forest protects the tigers." So this is called Vanasimha Nyaya. Please pay attention to this. For the first time, this Vanasimha Nyaya was quoted by Sri Krishna in the court of the Kauravas. What is the Vanasimha Nyaya? For the Simha to survive, for a lion to survive, a forest is important, isn't it? A forest is required for a lion to survive. And for the forest to be safe, a lion is required. If there are lots of lions in the forest, humans won't go and interfere. They won't go and destroy the forest, right? So you see that the forest protects the lion and the lion protects the forest. The lions protect the forest, isn't it? So there is mutual give and take between the forest and the lions. So all of you are like the forests, and the Pandavas are like lions and tigers. So with Vanasimha Nyaya, all of you should stay together. So Krishna tries to say this. That does not work. So Sama Marga does not work. Dana Marga does not work. Then eventually Krishna comes out from there. He meets his aunt Kunti and he says that, "I'll ensure that there is victory on the side of the Pandavas. I'm going to be the charioteer of Arjuna, etc." Then he meets Karna secretly. He meets Karna secretly and says, "You know, Karna, you are related both to the Pandavas and the Yadavas." Just listen to this. Krishna calls Karna and says, "You are related to both the Pandavas and the Yadavas." How is Karna related to Pandavas and Yadavas? Yes, Nandu. You are muted, Nandu.
Sir, Karna was the son of Kunti. So he was related to the Pandavas as they were also the sons of Kunti. And Kunti was the sister of Vasudeva, Krishna's aunt. So he was also related to the Yadavas.
Excellent. Yeah, fantastic. I see that so many of you know the answer and so many of you have followed these characters and stories very closely. Fantastic. Okay. So he says this and he says, "You know, you are the oldest of the Kaunteyas." Kaunteyas are the children of Kunti. You are the oldest of the Kaunteyas. You change your side onto the side of the Pandavas. If you change your side, I'll guide you in the war and I'll make sure that once all of you win the war, the Pandavas will recognize you as the king of the entire empire. See, now look at this. What is the advantage if Karna changes over the side? If Karna changes onto the side of the Pandavas, the Kauravas will get weakened because one of their greatest warriors is going away. The Pandavas will get strengthened because one of the greatest warriors is coming on their side. And what is the advantage of this? The war will get over soon, isn't it? The Pandavas become very, very strong. The Kauravas become weak. So therefore, the war will get over soon. The Pandavas will be victorious. Krishna also says, "Shashtam tvam varayishyati." Draupadi, Shashtam tvam varayishyati. Eventually, Draupadi will marry you as her sixth husband also, if you change over the side onto the side of the Pandavas. Look at the promise that Krishna is doing. Of course, it is going to be painful for Draupadi to accept Karna as her sixth husband. But however, this lady may suffer, but then it will save many other common people from suffering. See, if the battle takes place, if the war takes place, many innocent soldiers are going to die. Their wives, their sisters, their daughters, so many people are going to suffer. So therefore, it's okay for one person to suffer to avoid the suffering of a large number of people. So this is related to one of the famous shlokas which I have mentioned previously in one of the previous classes. So what is that?
त्यजेदेकं कुलस्यार्थे ग्रामस्यार्थे कुलं त्यजेत् ग्रामं जनपदस्यार्थे आत्मास्ते पृथिवीं त्यजेत्
What?
आत्मर्थे पृथिवीं त्यजेत्.
What is the meaning?
So, त्यजेद् एकं कुलस्य अर्थे. So, for one family, you might have to त्यजेद् एकं कुलस्य अर्थे. So, you might have to sacrifice one person for one kula. And त्यजेद्
For the
एकं
welfare of a family, one person might have to make sacrifices. So one person is sacrificing himself for the greater good of the family. A family may have to sacrifice itself for the greater good of the kingdom, right? And certain villages might have to be sacrificed for the greater good of the entire empire. So that is what the shloka says. We had shared the shloka also on the group. So here, Krishna's idea was Draupadi may be ready to make certain sacrifices to ensure the well-being of the entire kingdom. So that is why Krishna makes this kind of a promise to Karna. But then Karna says, it is Duryodhana who gave me an identity. I know that he is adharmic. But still I will support the side of Duryodhana. He says this, and eventually Krishna goes away from there. And then Kunti comes and requests Karna, saying that you are my son as well. Let there not be a war between 6 of you brothers. Karna, you are the oldest one. Yudhishthira is the second. Bhima is the third. Arjuna is the fourth. Nakula and Sahadeva are the fifth and the sixth. Let there not be a fight between the 6 of you. Karna tells Kunti that, okay, I won't kill any of the other Pandavas, but I will definitely fight Arjuna face to face. I want to fight him and I want to defeat him. I want to prove a point, he says. See, look at this again. Had Arjuna made any mistake, had Arjuna ever insulted Karna, they had made no mistake at all. But it is just Karna's animosity. How many chances he has been given? Krishna said, you know that the Pandavas are dharmic. You know that the Pandavas are related to you by blood. I am also related to you by blood. Kunti is a Yadavi. She belongs to the Yaduvamsha. I am also related to you by blood. The Pandavas are related to you by blood. They are more dharmic. You have seen it with your own eyes. So change over the sides. Karna does not agree. Kunti requests. Karna does not agree. Then Indra comes. Indra comes and what happens? Who knows the story? Yes, Mayank, do you want to tell? Okay, so many of you know anyway. Yeah. Mayank, please tell quickly.
I'm not sure with this part.
This is what I said. All of you are not thorough with the story and all of you have not read it also. Yes. Ahri, will you tell?
Yes, Indra comes in a disguise of a Brahmana and takes Karna's earrings and his armor, Kavacha.
So what does he give in return? What does Indra give in return to Karna? Yes, Sharanya. Yes, exactly. Okay. Now just look at this. Indra comes in a disguise to Karna when he's performing his Sandhya Vandanam, and Indra he reveals his identity, etc. He says, you should not fight Arjuna, but Karna says he will fight Arjuna. Then Indra asks for the Kavacha and the Kundala. Karna gives the Kavacha and Kundala, but in return gets the Shaktyayudha, which was one of the most powerful of the weapons. And Karna pledges that he'll use this biggest, the most powerful of the weapons against Arjuna. Okay, now because of this episode, many people say that Karna is Dana Veera. He is amongst the best among the people who does a dana. Now let us see what are the qualities of a real Sattvika dana. Datavyamiti yaddanam. Nidhi, do you remember? Do you want to tell? Datavyamiti yaddanam. The shlokas from there.
दातव्यमिति यद्दानं दीयतेनुपकारिणे देशे काले च पात्रे च तद्दानं सात्विकं स्मृतम्.
Go ahead. Next one also.
यत्तु प्रत्युपकारार्थं फलमुद्दिश्य वा पुनः दीयते च परिक्लिष्टं तद्दानं राजसंस्मृतम्. आदेशकाले यद्दानम् अपात्रेभ्यश्च दीयते असत्कृतमवद्दानं
Avagnatam, asatkrtam avagnatam.
असत्कृतमवज्ञातं तद्दानं तामसं कृतम्.
Okay. So Nidhi, you will also have to revise the Bhagavad Gita, of course, right? Yeah. Okay. यत्तु प्रत्युपकारार्थं फलमुद्दिश्य वा पुनः दीयते च परिक्लिष्टं तद्दानं तामसं स्मृतं. See, what is the true kind of true sattvika dana? Something which you have earned by hard work. Kavacha and Kundala, was it earned by Karna by hard work? It was something he was gifted by birth. Okay. First of all, he has not earned it by hard work. Is he giving it to a person who is in need of that? Is Indra in need of any of these, Kavacha or Kundala? See, if you have worked hard, you have toiled a lot for years together, you have earned 1 crore of rupees or whatever, and you are giving it to a person who is in need without expecting anything in return. Without expecting anything in return. That is the best kind of dana, isn't it? You have earned the money, you are giving it to a person who is in need, and you are not expecting anything in return. Now here, in the case of Karna, first of all, he has not earned this. Secondly, he is not giving it to a person who is in reality needy. Thirdly, he is getting something else in exchange. Right, which is the Shaktiyuddha. Of course, Indra gives it of its own accord, but Karna receives it and he uses it against Arjuna. So in this case as well, there is no way that we can say that Karna was a Danavira or he was a great donor. Absolutely not. And also, what was the dana that Karna did? He had been coronated as the king of Angarajya by Duryodhana. All of you remember that incident? All of you remember that, right? See, that Angarajya did not even belong to Duryodhana. It was no man's land. That was given to Karna. And whatever he got from Angarajya, probably he was donating to certain people. See, that Angarajya was also not earned by Karna by hard work. It was something he had randomly got. Okay. Anyway. So Karna says, Karna gives the Kavacha and Kundala. He gets the Shaktiyuddha. The battle is prepared. Everybody gets ready for the battle, for the Yuddha. 11 Akshohinis come to the support of the Kauravas. 7 Akshohinis were on the side of the Pandavas. All of you know what an Akshohini is. All of you saw on the group. So what is one Akshohini? Yeah, quick. Yes, Shashank. Namit, Shashank, anybody? Ritvik, yeah.
Akshohini means a measure of an army.
Yes, exactly. So what does it have? What all does it contain?
Soldiers.
Yes, Ritvik.
Contains soldiers, horses, and like elephants. It has 2,480,000 people.
Oh, fantastic. You have a very good memory, Ritvik. Yeah. So how many chariots, how many soldiers, etc. do you remember? You can see and tell. If somebody does not know, you can see and tell.
There are 420,000 soldiers by foot. No, by horse.
Totally. That is the total. But in Akshohini, how many are there? In one Akshohini, there are 21,870 foot soldiers. Oh, sorry. There are 21,870 chariots, 21,870 elephants, 65,610 horses, 1,09,350 foot soldiers. All of you know these parts of the army. See, in the army, there are people who are walking on their feet. Foot soldiers. They are called infantry or padati. There are warriors who ride horses. They are called cavalry. There are warriors who ride on elephants. They are called elephant cavalry only, in fact. There are warriors who ride the chariot. Okay, these 4 forces, they are together called the Cheduranga Bala. Okay, please remember this. Cheduranga. See, chess was called Cheduranga in India. All of you know that. Chess originated from India. It's an international game today. It is called Cheduranga. Why is it called Cheduranga? Because there are 4 angas, 4 limbs for the army. What are they? Infantry, Padati. Infantry is called Padati. Why is it called Padati? Because Pada means feet. They move on the feet, Padati. Then there is cavalry, horse cavalry. They are called Ashvikas. Ashva. They are Ashvarudas or Ashvikas. They go on the Ashvas or horses. There is elephant cavalry. They are called Gajarudas, Gajasainya. And Rathikas. Rathikas are the ones who go on a Ratha or a chariot. These four wings constitute the Chaturanga. So each Akshohini has a certain number of warriors belonging to each one of the Chaturangas. So there were 11 such Akshohinis on the side of the Kauravas. There were 7 Akshohinis on the side of the Pandavas. Okay. So on the first day of the war, the battle was supposed to begin. The Kurukshetra was chosen as the place where the battle would begin. And Bhishma was chosen as the Senadipati, Sarva Senadipati. See, for all the 11 Akshohinis, there were leaders on the side of the Kauravas. For the 7 Akshohinis on the Pandava side, for each one Akshohini, there was a leader. There was a commander-in-chief, Senadipati. But as a commander for all of them put together, Bhishma was chosen on the side of the Kauravas and Drishtadyumna was chosen on the side of the Pandavas. Who is Drishtadyumna? Quick. Who will tell? Yes, Dhatri, Ritvik. Okay, so many of you know. Anyone
Sir,
of
he
you
was
thinking and
the
you want to
brother of
tell?
brother.
Draupadi's
What?
brother.
Elder brother. Okay, fine. Now another question. Why do you think Bhishma was chosen by Duryodhana to be the commander-in-chief of the Kaurava army? There's a lot of analysis to be done here. The Mahabharata does not tell us, but since all of you have understood the psychology of Duryodhana, you might be able to answer. Yes, Daivik, Arush, Ritvik, Namit, anyone?
Yes, because
Very
Bhishma is
strong.
older.
Okay,
Sir,
he's
could I
very
say?
strong.
Sir,
Because
he
he's
had the
older.
boon of Ichha Mrityu, so he could
He
die
cannot
when
die.
Fantastic. All of you remember that Bhishma had got the boon of Ichha Marana. Who had given him that boon and when was the boon given to him? Who remembers? Yes,
Sir,
Ritvik.
Shantanu gave the
Exactly. Why did Shantanu give the boon?
because he sacrificed his marriage and his lineage for Shantanu's love, who was the fisherman.
Exactly. So now, Namit, I think I had mentioned this previously. Do you think that's a nice boon for a father to give a son? You die however you want.
No.
See, if Shantanu was a matured person, he should have told Bhishma, why don't you have Ichha Jivana? Live the life that you want. Here, okay, Ichha Marana is also fine. You can die whenever you want. That's fine. But isn't it more important to live the life you want than to die the way you want? So Ichha Jivana along with Ichha Marana would have been better if Shantanu had blessed that to Bhishma. Anyway, so Bhishma had this Ichha Marana. Any other idea why would Duryodhana ask Bhishma to become the commander-in-chief, although he's so old?
Sir,
Just think about
sir.
it. Just think. Okay, all of you here, whoever knows the Bhagavad Gita, recollect the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. What is Arjuna saying there? If you think of that, you may be able to guess what else might have worked in Duryodhana's mind. Yes, Ritvik, Mahati.
Well, that Bhishma was the eldest, and he knew how to fight very well from young age. He got
Sir,
trained.
could I
So
He was
the primary choice.
he was
Yes,
the
it was great.
grandfather for the Pandavas, so they may
So,
Sir, maybe because of love for Bhishma, the Pandavas wouldn't try to harm him.
excellent. Yeah, Mahati, Namit, both of you said exactly. Although the Mahabharata does not say, this might have worked in Duryodhana's mind. See, your own grandfather is standing there on the opposite side. Would you want to shoot arrows at your grandfather? Just think about it. Right? Your cousins have wronged you. Duryodhana, Dushasana, all of them have wronged you. But do you want to kill your grandfather? Just think how Bhima and Arjuna would feel, right? Fighting their own grandfather. Okay, Rashmi, you wanted to say something?
No, sir. Nidhi wanted to answer.
Yeah, okay, fine. What was your answer, Nidhi?
Sir, because when he keeps Bhishma as the commander-in-chief, Arjuna might feel sad and he might
Exactly.
hate him.
Perfect. See, somebody has sent in a message, emotionally controlling Pandavas, right? So it is a sentimental blackmail for the Pandavas. Do you want to fight your grandfather? Think about it. But then, shouldn't it be a sentiment for the Kauravas also? Is it right to push an old man who is your grandfather to fight the war for the mistakes that you have done, for the selfishness that you have got? See, Kauravas have been so selfish. They have been so jealous of the Pandavas. Is it right for them to push their grandfather's friend? Right? But anyway, Bhishma also agrees to be the commander-in-chief. And then we see what happens on the first day of the battle. Yeah. Who will recite this? Nidhi, why don't you only tell the first few shlokas of the first chapter? So the battle begins on the first day. When they are about to fight the battle, Arjuna starts getting cold feet. He starts becoming very scared. So that is where the Bhagavad Gita begins. And this is at the beginning of the Bhishma Parva. We have finished the 5th Parva, which is the Udyoga Parva. The 6th Parva is the Bhishma Parva. I had mentioned previously that the Yuddha Parvas are named after the commander-in-chief on the Kaurava side. Who is the commander-in-chief? The first commander-in-chief on the Kaurava side, it was Bhishma. So it is called the Bhishma Parva. Right at the beginning of the Bhishma Parva, we come across the Bhagavad Gita. Yes, Nidhi. Just the first few shlokas. Fast. The both of you, yeah.
Rashtrauvacha
धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुयुत्सवः मामकाः पाण्डवाश्चैव किमकुर्वत सञ्जय
Just look at this. Just look at this. Dhritarashtra is asking Sanjaya. One other thing I wanted to tell you previously, just before the war is going to happen, Vyasa Maharshi comes to the court of Dhritarashtra. He comes to the court of Dhritarashtra and says, this is the last chance for you to see your children, 100 children. So far, you have been blind. You have not seen your children at all. If you want, I will give you divine eyesight. You will be able to see your own children for one last time. They are going to die in the war. The Pandavas are very powerful. The Pandavas are going to kill your children. But then you know what Dhritarashtra says? I don't want Divya Drishti Vyasa. See, Vyasa is Dhritarashtra's father, isn't it? Dhritarashtra's father is Vyasa, right? Dhritarashtra says, I don't want divine eyesight because I don't want to see my nephew's Pandavas dying in the battlefield. This is the excuse Dhritarashtra gives. Dhritarashtra is overconfident that his sons, the Kauravas, will win. Okay. So therefore, Vyasa gives the Divya Drishti for Sanjaya. Now, when the battle begins, Dhritarashtra starts becoming anxious. And see, he says, Nidhi, repeat that shloka, Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre.
धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुयुत्सवः मामकाः पाण्डवाश्चैव किमकुर्वत सञ्जय.
So, Rashmi, do you have an observation on the second half of the shloka?
Sir, one observation is he said Mamakaha and Pandavaha.
Exactly.
So,
So what does it mean?
Yeah, Mamakaha means my people and Pandavaha means the Pandavas. So he clearly is differentiating that only Kauravas are his people, but Pandavas are not his people.
All of you, fantastic observation, Rashmi. All of you have observed this in the first shloka of the Bhagavad Gita. Dhritarashtra has been saying that, oh my God, my nephews, I don't want to see them dying. Pandavas are my noble brother, dharmic brother, Pandavas children, Pandu's children. But what is the first shloka of Bhagavad Gita? Mamakav Pandavas Chaiva. Nan maklu matte Pandav. See, my people and Pandavas. So Pandavas are not my people. So that comes out clearly from the first shloka itself. Mamakav Pandavas Chaiva Kima Kurvata Sanjaya. He is very curious, he is very anxious, and he wants to know what are the Pandavas doing, my people and the Pandavas doing. Okay, let's go forward. Panchajanyam Hrishikesho. From there, Nidhi.
Panchajanyam Hrishikesho Devadattam Dhananjayah Poundram Dadmau Mahashankham Bhima Karma Vrikodaraha Ananta Vijayam Raja Kunti Putro Yudhishthiraha Nakulas Sahadevascha Sughoshamani Pushpakau. काश्यश्च परमेश्वासः शिखण्डी च महारथः दृष्टद्युम्नो विराटश्च सात्यकिश्च पराजितः द्रुपदो द्रौपदेयाश्च सर्व एव महारथाः
Wait. Drupato, Draupadiyaश्च.
सर्वशः पृथिवीपते सर्वशः पृथिवीपते.
Okay, already stuck in the very first chapter. So, will anybody continue from there?
अत्र शिव
द्रुपदो द्रौपदेयाश्च सर्वशः पृथिवीपते सौभद्रश्च महाबाहुः शङ्खान् दद्मौ पृथक् पृथक् सघोषो धार्तराष्ट्राणां हृदयान् व्यधारयत् नभश्च पृथिवींश्चैव तुमुलो व्यनुनादयन्
Can you
अथ
repeat this? Okay,
व्यवस्थितान्
wait. Saubhadro Draupadiyaश्च.
सर्वशः पृथिवीपते सौभद्र.
Yeah. So go ahead from there.
सौभद्रश्च महाबाहुः शङ्खान् दद्मौ पृथक् पृथक् सघोषो धार्तराष्ट्राणां हृदयान् व्यधारयत् नभश्च पृथिवींश्चैव तुमुलो व्यनुनादयन् अथ व्यवस्थितान्.
Now see, in the shlokas that were just recited, those of you who have learned the Bhagavad Gita, just recollect it. You see the list of the Pandava warriors, those on the side of the Pandavas. Panchajanyam, Hrishikesho, Devadattam, Dhananjayah, Moundram Tadmav, Mahashankam, Bhimakarma, Vrukodaraha, Ananta Vijayam Raja, Kunti Putro, Yudhishthiraha, Nakula Sahadevascha, Sugosha Manipushpako, Kashyascha Parameshwasaha. All of these are on the side of the Pandavas. As soon as they blew their conches, the hearts of the Dhartarashtraha, the hearts of the Kauravas, that started trembling. And Tumulo Vyenunadayan, the earth and the skies was filled with the Shankhanada of the Pandavas. Just the sound of the Shankha of the Pandava army put together, that has created so much of fear in the heart of the Kauravas. But something else also happens. What happens? We'll see in tomorrow's class. I won't take any questions today because today, tomorrow, day after, I'll let there not be any questions. On the day after tomorrow, we'll finish the course. On Monday, we'll have a special session completely dedicated for question and answers. Okay, I'll complete here for now. All of you please stay back here. There are a few important announcements which Shilpa Bhagini wants to make. She'll make those announcements. Before she makes those announcements, please, all of you stay back. Who is going to recite the concluding shloka for today?
Dhatri.
Dhatri, you had volunteered? Yes.
रत्नोदार चतुस्समुद्ररशनां भुक्त्वा भुवं कौरवो भग्नोरुः पतितः स निष्परिजनो जीवन् वृकैर्भक्षितः गोपैर्विश्वजयीजितश्च विजयः कक्षैक्षिता वृष्णयः तस्मात् सर्वमिदं विचार्य सुचिरं शान्त्यै मनोदीयताम्.
Excellent. Thank you, Dhatri. Just all of you hold on.
Thank you, Dhatri. So now we have a few announcements. So please don't log out yet. Stay here in the meeting. So I had requested a few of you to send me a message on